How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to our live stream and welcome to the big North London Derby match preview. I don't usually do previews live, guys, but I thought because it's North London Derby, we have to bring a live version of it. And we're here today with my guy, Robbie. Of course, every single year we do this. There's only one Tottenham fan I actually can sit there and say respect to him, yeah? Because apart from this is the only one I actually watch his channel because he keeps things real. He says how it is, man. And he has standards for his club as well. So this is why he's with us today, people. Leave your thoughts in down below. Smash your likes, get predictions, all that amazing stuff. Make sure you guys subscribe to Robbie's channel. Link is in the title. Very easy to do, guys. Blue at. Go over to there. Show this guy some support, man. Absolute legend. He comes on every single year, and he's back again to preview this big North London derby. As it always is, we've got a lot of interesting talking points. They've got a new manager. His first game. What a first game for him is going to be up against us. Obviously, we had the pressure of the title race, and we having to win this game. They have the pressure of a relegation battle. So, yeah, we're going to love to get his thoughts on that as well. But yeah, Robbie, welcome back to the channel as always, my friend. How you been keeping? Apart from your club, obviously, bro.
Yeah, all right away from football, mate. When it comes to football, shocking. The last few months have been really painful. I'm going to have to stop doing these previews soon, Josh, if we keep losing these North London derbies, because they keep coming on with chest and backing my team. And I don't think we've beaten you since like 2022. So, yeah, things have got to change soon. I mean, surely. So, yeah, looking forward to this Sunday's game. You guys are crumbling a little bit. We need some momentum. We need 3 points. It's a big game.
100%, mate. Yeah, 100%. I mean, let's get right into things. Of course, I want to start with you guys and your situation because a lot has happened, man. Like with Postecoglou, obviously you won that Europa League, your first trophy in over a decade, you know, and then you sack him after that. Then you get Thomas Frank in, and then that went absolute hell. Then you have Levy leaving in and amongst that as well. And now you're at a stage where you've appointed Igor Tudor as manager. So I mean, and if you look at your league position, we saw how poor you were last season in the league. This season, nothing's really changed there, has it? So, sort of, pick it out. Whatever you think if it's, I know it's probably not one issue. I know it's a number of reasons. Probably what's going wrong with Tottenham, but sort of give your overall thoughts. Like, how are you feeling as a fan right now, man? Like, just for you, like watching your club. Considering like a few years ago, you made that Champions League final in 2019, under Pochettino. But and obviously you had that season, was it 2016, where you sort of in that title race as well. It's going from there to obviously where you are now. How are you feeling overall as a Tottenham fan, bro?
Yeah, pretty dejected. In all honesty, I haven't watched anywhere near as much football this season as I have done in previous seasons. When Spurs are, a mess, I struggle to enjoy any other football on the weekend. I can't remove myself from looking at things from a Spurs perspective. But you just said it there. It's not one issue, it's multiple issues. A lot of the managers that we've had could have done better. But at the same time, the owners have been a constant. The Lewis family have always been there for 20 plus years. And for 20 plus years, we haven't had the success that we want. Looking at the state of the club right now, us being in this relegation battle, it's not something that's happened suddenly and that's a shock to a lot of Spurs fans, unless you're delusional. I think a lot of people saw this coming because you sacked Mauricio Pochettino, which was a silly mistake. Then you bring in serial winners and you don't give them the tools to win. Then you follow that up with the appointment of Ange Postecoglou. Then you follow that up with the appointment of Thomas Frank. And I was excited about both of those when we appointed them. But to go from Pochettino, Jose, Conte, to then Ange, to then Frank, to now, and I hope he does well, don't know about him, yet, but Igor Tudor, the level of managers have gone down. You look at sporting directors from Hitchin to Paratici to Johan Lange, the level's gone down. And whilst Daniel Levy's left, the Lewis family still own the club. Not so much Joe Lewis, but Vivian Lewis. And you're still seeing that lack of investment. We've had multiple injuries. I mean, the medical team have to take accountability as well, because this is 2 seasons in a row that we've had a ridiculous amount of injuries. But in the January transfer window, we're missing so many players. and we go out there and sign one senior player. So nothing's changed with Daniel Levy going. And I'm at a point right now where I'm sort of past being angry about it. Over the last few years, I've been angry about the state of Spurs. Kind of just expect it now, and I'm just dejected because it's the when is it going to end, Robbie thing from DT. I don't know when it's going to end. It's just it's constantly ongoing. A win against you guys, is always a plus. I'm at the state of the club, but yeah, I think it's been the situation we're in right now has been coming for years and years, and yeah, we're a mess of a football club right now. It's not nice saying it on an Arsenal fan channel either, because I want to come on here talk about how good we are. But under Pochettino, we were the team competing for titles and trophies. You guys were struggling to get into like the Champions League. Now you guys are competing for titles. I don't think you'll win the quadruple, but you got a chance of it. And we're struggling to stay in the league. We're battling with West Ham and Leeds and teams like that. So yeah, we've fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, I mean, I look at some of the managers that have called you out and called the owner out as well. Like I remember, was it Conte's press conference, that crazy press conference in his final game? I think Mourinho might have called it out as well, because you know what he's like. But obviously, the one most recently was Ange, wasn't it? What he was saying on the overlap, completely dismissing your club and sort of saying that you guys, he used us as an example when we signed Declan Rice. Like we put the money down for him, and I think you sort of saying that you guys, like he wanted certain players, didn't he? That they were looking at some good players who like, and he was saying that you had to go from a team from when he first came in to that he wanted to obviously get you to that team title challenging again, and he wanted some of these players, but he wasn't getting served that. So, I mean, do you think you're seeing a common theme now of like, it's not just a manager, it's more, as you said, I know Levy's left now, but it's a lot more bigger problems higher up.
Yeah, you just said it there. The common denominator is the owners. They've been there, and manager after manager is coming out and saying the same thing. So there's got to be some truth in it, even if you don't think these managers have done a great job. Ange Postecoglou, I wanted to keep him after the Europa League final because he won us a trophy, he got sacked. But for a lot of that season, I was Ange out. With what he's saying, he's spot on. There was one quote on the overlap. He said, "You see, to there is to do everywhere, yet their actions are the antithesis of that." And he's so spot on. To there is to do. Yet when Pochettino wanted Dybala, we went with Lo Celso, not because it was the better option, but because it was the cheaper option. Ange wanted Neto. Ange wanted players like this, and he got a load of youngsters. And I don't have a problem with us signing youngsters, but what the top teams do, they sign youngsters alongside quality players that are ready right now. And the problem is none of our youngsters now are really developing like we want them to, because they're being thrown straight into the fire. They're not gradually, being pushed into the team, put in the team. And a lot of people say it's good experience for them, but Archie Gray, Bergvall, they would have expected to maybe, make a few sub appearances in their first couple of seasons, then start, and then after a few years, be consistently starting. They've been thrown straight into it because we don't have anyone above them to start. And I just think, the injuries, there's not loads you can do to prevent them, but there is a lot you can do to try and solve that problem by signing players. Great comment there. But there is a lot that you can do to solve that problem. And I just think manager after manager is coming out saying the same thing about the lack of sort of winning mentality. It's a big, big problem at the football club. I know we're coming off a Europa League, but just that lack of belief that we can actually win things and kick on as a big club. And everyone who I speak to who isn't a Spurs fan says, you've got the infrastructure, you've got the stadium, you've got this, why are you not kicking on? And it's the owners for me. I know it's, a basic bland response. Every fan, I should say, when their club's struggling, comes out and says it's the owners. But 20 plus years they've been here. And I know that we're, bantered now about being Spursy and stuff, but that wasn't a thing before. If you go back to the black and white days, which I will, from the 60s to the 90s, I've got you, Josh, is when we had the most amount of success. But from the 60s to the 90s, we were one of the most successful clubs in London. We were a far bigger club than Chelsea. Us and Arsenal were at a similar level. And then since they came in 1999, 2 Carabao Cups, or 2001, I should say, so 1 Carabao Cup, and won Europa League. And that Europa League was in a season that we finished 17th. So manager after manager is coming out and saying the same thing. For me, I agree with all of them. How can serial winners like Conte and Jose come to Spurs and not win anything? How we sacking Mourinho 6 days before a final and does win us a trophy? Does that make that season great, in my opinion? No, it was a special moment, but should have he been given another season because of that? Yeah, what kind of message does that send out? We want to win mentality. Yet you sack a guy right after he wins a trophy. I don't get it. And then Thomas Frank, and I will shut up in a second and pass it back to you, Josh. But you sent me off on one here.
You're
Thomas
good, man.
Frank,
You're
I
good.
think Frank wasn't a great manager, right? There were a lot of stupid tactical decisions that he made, a lot that he got wrong. But it's another manager that hasn't been backed, it's had an injury crisis, and whenever things have started to get tough, has been sacked. And the pattern will continue repeating itself as long as the owners are here.
Yeah, no, absolute facts there. I mean, if we just look at Igor Tudor right now, now I watch a lot of Italian football, so I've seen him. He's a very familiar face in Italy, and I'm sure a lot of you will know he was at Juventus. That was his last club. He came in as interim for them. He actually started off really well. Like short term, he came in and he was, he picked them up because they was going through a really really tough spell when they got rid of Thiago Motta. So he came in and like he got them firing again, really, and he qualified from Champions League football. Then they gave him the job permanently, and then it just sort of went downhill. It went winless in 8 games or something, or 6 games, whatever it was for them. But then he's had experience at like Lazio as well. He came in for a short spell, did decent. He was at Verona as well, and he had the highest ever point season. So like he sort of made a bit of history there. The highest ever league finish I think was under him. And then he's obviously had a few other Udinese, so he's been all around Italy really. So he's quite a well-known, sort of face in Italy. But he's coming in. I mean, what's sort of like the expectations for this guy? Oh, is it honestly? Are we
Yeah,
looking at it saying like not to get relegated? Is this the aim now?
that's the main priority. Keep us up. Hopefully, play a bit of good football whilst doing it. He's only here as an interim, and at first, when we brought him in, I didn't know loads about him. I saw him in a few games at Juventus, but the most I remembered about him was when he came on the pitch for Marseille against us years ago when we played them in the Champions League. So I read up a little bit about him, and he's good at firefighting. So hopefully he'll do a job. But as I say, when he first came in, I was a little bit like, who's this guy? I wanted someone who would get the fans behind the team. Someone like a Robbie Keane, not Ryan Mason. That'd be dreadful. Pochettino's hard to do because he's Trump's going to have a problem with him if he leaves America before the World Cup. But I felt like we needed someone who's going to get the fans behind them. And I weren't sure about this guy, but a few press conferences that he's done, a few interviews, he comes across really well. He did his first one earlier, and he came out with a quote that I really liked. They said, "How much have you enjoyed your first week at Spurs?" And he said, "I haven't enjoyed it. I've been working. I'm not going to enjoy it until the work is done, and we've got work to do." And I like that. It's that mentality of, no, I'm not here to enjoy. I'm here to do a job. And because he's only here interim, I think most of the fan base, now that we know he's here, now that the initial reaction of the appointment's passed, will just be like, okay, get behind this guy in the team for 12 games to make sure that we don't go down to the Championship. Because if we get relegated, it's a tragedy for the club. Not just because we sell loads of players, but all the sponsorship deals go. The amount of revenue coming in goes. Probably come straight back up, but we'll just be in that sort of endless West Ham loop. I feel like if we got relegated, of just trying to stay up every season, every now and again going down. So yeah, I mean, hopefully the guy can keep us up. Tactically, he fits the club's DNA more. He plays the kind of football that I like, counter-pressing football. I enjoy watching that. I like the 3-4-2-1 system. It got a lot of stick when Amorim used it wrong, but then you see someone like Glasner, and he uses that system the way it should be used at Crystal Palace. I know he's struggling now, but their most successful manager in history. So I like his football. I think he comes across well. I think for 12 games, the fan base will get behind him. It's not a really exciting appointment, but he's a firefighter. He's kept Udinese up when he's gone in there. His first initial spell at Juventus was good, and then at the back end, you said, didn't do so good. But I'm not fussed about the back end because he ain't going to be here at the start of next season, unless like he keeps us up and the board appoint him, which would be stupid for me. But yeah, I don't mind it. I think it's an okay appointment.
If you got any ideas, I know you're looking. I know the main priority is actually for him to keep you up, but he's just interim. You got any for you? You got any like replacements you have in mind for Thomas Frank for the long term?
Pochettino. I think most
Pochettino.
Spurs fans think Pochettino because a lot of Spurs fans have been saying it for years. And my worry was don't go backwards in football. But with the state of the club right now, I feel like anyone else coming in apart from him would have a real tough time winning the fans over. Because any talk of another project, fans will just be like, we've heard this 5 million times before. Project this, project that. The impatience would be even higher because of the ticket prices that they're charged to go and watch us week in, week out. And there wouldn't be any patience. Any manager coming in, aside from Poch, would have a real difficult time winning the fans over. Pochettino comes in, and because of what he did with the football club, immediately the fans are back on board. Immediately, that atmosphere picks up. That's got to have an effect on the players as well, because there's a catch-22 now at the club. The atmosphere is awful at the stadium, which makes the players nervous and makes them struggle. But at the same time, the players are playing poorly and look nervous and
Mm.
struggle, so the fans aren't getting behind them. Pochettino would help out with that side of things. Is any manager going to be that successful under these owners? No, but I think he gets the fans on board. Um, what he did at Spurs, I know he didn't win a trophy, but he basically turned us from a side that were competing for Europe into one of the best teams in the country, playing beautiful football. And we were so unlucky to lose that Champions League final after a dodgy decision 1 minute in. Not salty about it at all now, like 7 years later. But yeah, for me, I think most Spurs fans are Poch. Glasner is someone who I like. I would just struggle, though, going from Frank to Glasner, because I feel like it's another manager where the question is it too big of a step up?
Mm.
Eddie Howe is a great shout, but I'm not sure he'd join. Um, and then obviously names get banded around. Zidane, and it's just like Zidane wouldn't join us. Come on, man! But like we're in a relegation battle. I don't think he'd join you if you sacked Arteta, because I feel like he managed
Mm.
Madrid because of his connection to that club. Or
Yeah.
Xavi Hernandez. If we could get Xavi Alonso, I'd take him. If not, Pochettino would be top of my list.
What about this comment? The Sunderland manager.
I think it would be another Frank. I think he'd have a
Yeah.
project. And whether it'd work out in the long term or not, I don't think we'd know, because I think he'd be sacked after like 6 months. His style of play as well, it's better than Frank's. But it's just another thing of Frank did really well at a mid-table club. And
Yeah.
if he came into a Spurs that were well organised, I think he could have been successful. I think he's a good manager. But it's just so hard to find. I'm not sure there is a right fit for this football club to be successful, but there are better fits. And someone like Labrie would be another Frank, in my opinion, because you're coming in with big egos. That's a big difference as well. Big egos, big pressure, big
Yeah.
stadium. I think he'd struggle.
Yeah. Let's obviously look into this game. By the way, big up to KLG, man. Thanks for the super chat, bro. Absolute legend for that. Really appreciate that. Shout out to you, KLG. Bless up to you, my bro. Thank you very much. That really does mean a lot. Make sure you guys smash your likes, and any questions you got for Robbie, or leave them down below, and predictions as well. But obviously, let's get into this game. Away from home, obviously for us, we actually have a good record against you guys in the recent. I think the last time you beat us at your stadium was Conte. I want to say. I think it was
Yeah,
Conte. The 3-0.
yeah, it was. Yeah,
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 the
yeah. That
3-0
was the last one.
22, 23, I think, or
2022, it was. Yeah,
2022. Yeah,
when
so
we were
that's
battling for top four.
the top four battle. Yeah. So yeah, we have a decent record in the recent years, but for me, I look at it, North London Derby. I know you guys are where you are, um, you know, relegation battle, and we're flipping top of the league. But I'm sure you've seen the recent results from us. Wolves on the week, midweek. That was our game in
Good
Hanover
watch. Yeah,
City. Good, yeah, here we go. Good watch for you, earn it, mate. Yeah, literally bottom of the league, bro. Bottom of the league, Wolves. I saw not go. I
I
still
know.
not go
Yeah,
over it, man. Yeah, 2-2. And then, but even the game before that, we drew at Brentford 1-1. So, it's now 5 points, and City got a game in hand over us, and they played before us as well. Obviously, they play on the Saturday against Newcastle. So we're gonna know what happens in that game. If they win, it'll be big pressure. It'll be big pressure anyway for Arsenal, but even more added pressure for us to get the win against you guys. So, I mean, how you feeling coming to this game overall? I know it's North London derby. We know, I think we say this every single year, but we can agree as Tottenham and Arsenal fans, yeah, this is the only thing we can agree on. It's one of the best derbies out there. It always has been for me.
I
You
think
know,
it is, yeah.
yeah, definitely. So we know what type of game to expect. But in terms of how you're feeling with, is there a new manager bounce as well? Does that give you, does this give you a bit of hope? And also, as I said, the fact that I think the pressure's more on us personally because of the whole title race. And if we slip up, then it'll be, especially against you lot in a derby, be a lot of question marks. So, how you feeling overall coming to this game, man?
Despite how much better you guys are than us, this is the most confident I've been for a North London derby in years. Because usually
Wow.
we'll play you in September, October time, then at the start of January, and that's when you're playing well. You start to crumble a little bit around February onwards, and
Yeah.
I feel like we'll have that new manager bounce. We've got a tifo set up. That stadium will be rocking for the first time in a long time, really. And I just think back to that 2022 game. So Gary Neville quote. Now, I don't take a lot of what that guy says seriously, but he came out with like that Arsenal team were brutalised by that Tottenham fan base. And I know now the mentality in that team is stronger than it was a few years ago, but I still don't think it's that strong. I still think there's a mental fragility. I still think now that it's getting to the business end of the season, your players are getting worried. Your manager's getting worried. You're thinking about it happening for a fourth season in a row. And I feel like the fans in the stadium will smell that. I feel like the Spurs players will smell that. And I really feel like if we put you guys back up against the wall, I can see you crumbling in this game. I can see you scoring an early goal. I can see us scoring an equaliser. And I can see us maybe getting a late winner because I just think if we score a goal in this game, even if you guys are 2-0 up, if we bring it back to 2-1, the pressure will be mounting on you guys. And yeah, we're a bad team, but we're not as bad as Wolves. 2-0 up against Wolves and they're coming back against you. You just, pressure does weird things. David Raya, the best goalkeeper in the league, arguably, and he's flapping at the ball in the last minute like Vicario. And I'm watching it like, why is he doing that? Why has he suddenly got butterfingers? And it's because that pressure's getting to him. He's thinking about it. The players are thinking about it. And I think it's a great chance for us to derail your season and to save us. Yeah. I feel like it's the biggest derby in years. I don't know if you'd agree with that. And the reason being, I feel like the stakes are high for both teams. Us in a
Yeah.
relegation battle, you guys competing for a title. The last few years, you guys have been competing for a title. We've been doing nothing of note. Then when we had Poch, it was us competing for like titles and stuff, and you guys struggling to get into Europe. We had that game in 2022 where both were going for top four, but the stakes are really, really high. You know, different ends of the table, obviously, but the stakes are really high for both teams in this one. So I feel like it's a massive game and I'm pretty excited about it. New manager, we play better football. A lot of people expect us to lose. It's not like it's nothing to lose because we're in a relegation battle. Every point counts. But yeah, I agree with you. I feel like there's more pressure on you guys. Both teams are in positions where they need to win, but the pressure's mounting on you guys. Pundits start talking. Arteta, Lego man starts choking. I've seen this film before, and I think it's going to happen for a fourth season in a row.
I mean, if it happens, fourth season in a row, I don't even, because bro, you've seen us this season, right? We have been the opportunities we had. We had opportunities to go about 12 points clear when City didn't win in four. Like when they lost to Man United 2-0 and then they drew the three games. And what did we do? We crumbled against Man United, Nottingham Forest, and Liverpool. You know, we've had big opportunities to really, you know, put a big gap on Man City, which we know how big it is to do that, considering how ruthless they can be, especially at this stage of the season as well. I know last season they dropped off, but it's more Liverpool who, you know, stood up last season. So yeah, man, it's this game, as you said, a lot of pressure for us, but I know it's still quite, it may be unknown but for you because obviously this is going to be your Tudor's first game, but the setup wise for you guys, I heard you guys have, is it 13 fit players available for the game?
Yeah.
So what's the lineup looking like, and what's the tactics looking like for Tudor
I
for
think
this
he
game?
will go with the 3-4-2-1 because I think he's going to try and instill his ideas from minute one because he's only here for a few months as an interim manager. But the problem with that is that it's a system so heavily reliant on wing backs, and we don't have any. We've got Jed Spence, who's a natural fullback. We've got Souza, who's a youngster. Udoji's out. Poro's out. Yeah, I mean, I think he will go with a 3-4-2-1. And I think Paulinho and Gallagher will work well in that sort of double pivot. I think it could favour Simmons. I think Solanke will get more service. The wing backs are what I'm worried about, though, and centre backs. Because if you're playing Paulinho in the middle, because Romero putting that reckless, stupid, daft tackle against Man United, it's probably a back three of Van der Ven, Dragazin, and Danzo's injured as well. It's so hard to do the predicted lineups at the moment. Because we're just missing so many players. So I think it will be 3-4-2-1, and I think we will play the strongest team we have. But it will be interesting to see who he plays at wing back. Does he put like a midfielder out there? Does he put Gallagher as a wing back, or does he put Van der Ven as a wing back and drop Paulinho into the centre back role? So yeah, I think 3-4-2-1 because he's going to try and get his ideas across from minute one.
Fair play, man. Yeah, I mean, for us, it's going to be an interesting lineup. Apparently, we may have Havertz back, so I don't know if he's going to be playing right straight back into the team. But for us, it'll probably be Raya in goal, Timber right back, Seba, Gabriel, two centre backs. Left back maybe in Capier. I don't know if I go with Kala because he's still coming back from injury. Midfield three. A lot of people. Let me know, Arsenal fans in the chat. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say we should play Norgard a lot more. Who we signed obviously from Brentford in the summer because Zubi's been playing too many games for me. But I do think Arteta's going to go Zubi and Rice, and then let it all work out. Eze, who to be honest with you, Robbie scored that hat trick against you. But if I'm being real with it, yeah, he's been really
Casper the Ghost since, mate. He's disappeared
since that,
the
bro.
last few months.
Since that game, he's looking at it thinking like, yeah, I've done. That's the season. You know, that's my highlight of the season: scoring a hat trick against Spurs and then just going missing after that. You know, no Eze, man. We need to see consistency from you. So, yeah, it ain't been going that great for him. But it's against you guys again. And my hope is we get a similar performance like we did at the Emirates game. So I don't know if we'll go with him. It's going to be interesting if Havertz is back. I can see him going Havertz in there in the midfield. But if not him, maybe Eze. And then we've been playing Bukayo Saka. I don't know if you've seen, Robbie. We've been playing Saka as like a 10 in the last two games, which is quite mad because he's not obviously never really played there often for us. So I don't know if we'll go with that again. Then the front three should be Saka on the right, then maybe Martinelli. It's literally a toss up between Martinelli and Trossard, and then probably Gyökeres leads a line for us. So yeah, that's I think how we will line up. But listen, overall, I do think we will beat you. But at the same time, away from home, you got this new manager. It's gonna be a lot of pressure on Arsenal. Prediction. I'm gonna go with a 2-1 to Arsenal. But what about you, Robbie, man?
I think 2-1 Spurs. I think you guys score early, and I think we equalise around the 80th minute, something like that. And then I think your players, I'm not going to swear on your channel, but themselves. And I can just see you guys making a stupid mistake or something. I can see you pushing up to try and get a winner. And one of your centre-backs who's so reliable, just like Raya did out of nothing the other night, one of your centre-backs who's so reliable, misplacing a pass. And I can see us nicking it. I really, really can. I'd love us to win it with a corner as well. The irony of that, if we could beat you with the set piece. But yeah, I think 2-1 Spurs. This is the worst I've seen Spurs, but this is the most confident I've been heading into a derby for years, which is weird. But it's just I don't understand. Well, I do, I suppose. What's wrong with you guys? Because a few years ago, you had a worse team on paper, that you were playing beautiful football. And it pains me to admit that from 2022 to 2024, one of the most entertaining and best teams in the world. Free-flowing football. The last couple of years, you've strengthened and you play worse football. Yeah, you haven't got top attacking players, but you've got good attacking players. And if you've got such a good defence, trust them Let your attacking players push forward. It's just football basics, Harry Redknapp basics. Get the attackers forward. Just take the shackles off them. Let them play with freedom. You said Saka's playing in the number 10. Guy's a winger, man. But let him cut inside. Let him go on the outside. Give him space. I just think, yeah, the football you guys have been playing, and honestly, this isn't meant as a dig. This is only what I've seen with my own 2 or 4 eyes. It's not exciting most of the time. Every
Oh
now and
no,
again, you'll win a game playing good football, but it's scrappy set pieces. And if you're winning games constantly whilst doing that, you can say fair play, like Jose Mourinho's Chelsea in 0405, fourteen
exactly.
15. But you're not. And I I get that I'm a Spurs fan, so me saying this will be like, oh, you're only saying this because, and I'm not saying you'd say this, but a lot of Arsenal fans are, you're only saying this because Arsenal are in the title race. But I feel like this is the worst title race in years. When
I hear
Pep's
that.
Man City and Klopp's Liverpool going up against each other, it's toe to toe. It's a proper race. This is like an egg and spoon race. I don't know what's going on with this. Well, I heard Cundy and O'Hara say that the other night. It's like an egg and spoon race. It's just, I think the winner of the title will finish on like 85, 86 points. Whereas
Yeah,
years ago, it's like 95, 96 points. Fergie and Wenger, going toe to toe, high points, big wins week in, week out. Whereas I'm watching you guys like win 2 games in 7 in the Premier League. And I'm watching City have like 2 or 3 back-to-back draws a few weeks ago. I'm thinking this City team's the weakest they've been in years as well. Got to take advantage of it because they will. They will once they move on from Pep. These players would have built partnerships and they'll be back to winning titles for me. But yeah, I want to ask you one question. If you fail for a 4th season in a row,
hmm
are you then? I don't know if you already are. Are you Arteta out then? Do you feel like you need someone else to get you over the
all
line?
day long, all day long. If he fails to win the Premier League this season, sack him. If he fails to win the Premier League or Champions League, sack him. Yeah, don't get twisted. I want the Carabao Cup. Yeah, because I think it'd be a stepping stone for us to go and win bigger things. You look at Mourinho when he first came in at Chelsea, he won the Carabao Cup. Yeah, they used it as a stepping stone to win bigger things. This team, Robbie, they haven't won together. Arteta came in, he won the FA Cup. That wasn't his team. I think only 2 players from that team remain. That was Saka and I think Martinelli. It's a completely new team. They've not had that winning feeling. Actually, win a trophy together. The feeling they've had is capitulating every single season. That's the feeling that they have, and I think in the recent games we're getting deja vu from previous
Muscle
seasons as
memory's
well.
kicking in.
100%, bro. So for me, it's like this manager, you could not go when we've been 9 points clear this season. When we've had opportunities to go 12 points clear this season. If you go and with the squad that we've had, with the money that we've spent, yeah, we have one of the best squads, I believe, in Premier League. We have one of the best squads, I think, in
I
Europe.
agree.
When you look at depth, when you look at competition, when you look at the quality that we have, our defense, I think it's one of the best in Europe as well. When you have all these tools, right? If you fail to win the Premier League this season or Champions League, a major honor, you've got to go, mate, at the end of the day. It's really simple as that. But this is crazy because when I say this or when other people say this, yeah, you get called all the names under the sun. We get called go and F off to the lane, like just because how can we sit here and accept this? I get Arteta, he's came in, yeah, and he's a good manager, but you manage an Arsenal Football Club, you've got to be elite, my friend. To be elite, you got to get us over the line and win us the Premier League or Champions League. It's really as simple as that for me. So yeah, I mean, maybe Arteta is a nearly man. People I mean, people may don't want to accept this, but I look at managers will be available. Like someone like Luis Enrique in the summer will most likely be available from PSG. If he sees a club like Arsenal, right, with the squad that we've got as well, it's Premier League. It should, we will be able to attract these types of level managers. And maybe he's the guy to come in. Arteta has done a good job, but he can't get us that next level. He can't get us over the
There's
finish
only
line.
so far he can take you, kind of thing. He's
Exactly,
got you today. You
exactly.
need someone else to get you to the next level.
Exactly, and someone who's been there and done it like Enrique, look what he's done at Barca, PSG, winning their first ever Champions League as well. Look how many managers struggled at PSG to win that Champions League, and look how many managers had like flipping. They had one of the best squads in world football at one point
Yeah.
with Messi, Suarez, not Suarez, Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar. They had like flipping this incredible squad. They didn't win the Champions League for it. uh, Enrique made like 10 new signings in that first season, rebuild the team, and then he went on and eventually won the Champions League with them. He's the type of manager that I'll go for. You know, it's like managers who've been there and done it. So yeah, 100%. This is do or die for Arteta. This is his season now. It's make or break for him. People don't have this conversation, you know, but if he doesn't win anything, I mean, it's certainly the main target has to be a Premier League or Champions League. He's got to go for me, man.
Yeah, no, I
Uh,
hear you. It's similar to like Pochettino when he was with us. Did
yeah,
such a good job, but just can't get us over the line.
yeah.
Rodgers at Liverpool, there were just certain managers that are great at building, but they need someone else to take over just to win something. And I feel like that's what you guys need. I feel like you're the kind of club now that if someone like Antonio Conte came into, he'd win.
Oh yeah.
Someone like that, it was never going to work with us. But someone like a Conte, even not, I'm not sure about Jose now because the last few years he struggled.
Mm,
But someone like that, a serial winner who's got a history of winning, they come in. It doesn't matter how they get it done. You're pretty much sure that they will. Whereas with Arteta, I feel like it's that emotional connection that a lot of your fans have to him, though. And I get it. We had it with Poch, hence why I want him back this summer. But it's like, yeah, but he's got us competing for these titles. He's got us competing for this. He's got us competing. And the problem is you're competing, you're not winning. And one thing that I saw a lot of Arsenal fans saying the other week after the Brentford game was, yeah, it's a point, but it's a tough game against Brentford. And I know I'm a fine one to talk about winning mentality as a Spurs fan, but I thought you can't just say every time you have a difficult game, well, we came away with a point. No, if you want to win titles, you've got to win those difficult games. Not
yeah.
just, yeah, it's a difficult game, so we can accept yours. Because City at the back end of the season, I think, will win those games. And I think, yeah, I feel like this game's massive. I feel like if you lose this game, I know it's only one game, but I can't see you winning the league title if you lose this game. Or even if you draw it, because that would have been dropping points to Wolves and Tottenham, two teams right down the bottom. You've still got to go to the Etihad. They've got a game in hand.
Yeah.
It's in City's hands then for me.
No, 100%. And we've got to go and play them still as well at Etihad in April. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. Julie, thank you so much for the kind of super chat. Great to see you, Julie. Thank you very much as always for that. We need to take serious hold of this. Come on, you Gunners, 100% for sure. But yeah, big up Lou, my bro. This will be Spurs Cup final. Will be a very, very tough game. Yeah.
No, we actually had a cup final at the end of last season that we won,
okay.
mate.
Here we
European
go.
trophy. You lot won't know about a European trophy, though. It's all right.
Oh no,
Hopefully one day. Hopefully
He's
one
not
day
doing
you'll know
this.
about a European trophy.
Hey, listen, have fun playing Preston North End in the Championship next season, bro. If they win in the Championship,
At least we'll win a trophy in the Championship.
But yeah, no, bro, you're absolutely spot on, man. Like someone like Conte, I mean, look at everywhere he's been at. Again, this is not even a diss, but apart from your club, but he called it out, and there's bigger problems at your club anyway. Everywhere he's been at, he's effectively won. You know, he came in at Chelsea, yeah, won them the Premier League, right? Napoli, bro, at Napoli, he'll be available as well because you know, Conte, he don't stay too long at these clubs. I feel like
2 years, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 years minimum, he moves on. But he had players like flipping McTominay, yeah, this Finnish guy at Man United, yeah, this fraud at Man United, bro, player of the season last year, and then they won the league title with that. So you know, he had like McTominay, he had like Billy Gilmore, he had flipping Philip Billing, he had like all these scrubs. I mean, Lukaku up front. Yeah, and he won them the league title. You know, this season he's got Rasmus Højlund up front, but he's scoring goals out for Napoli. So Conte,
I know he didn't win anything at Spurs as well, Josh. Sorry to interrupt you. I know he didn't win anything, but he got, like, in his first season, he came in when we were mid-table, and he got us into the top four, and we were battering teams week in, week out. We battered you guys, we battered Everton, we battered Newcastle 5-1, Villa 4-0. I remember we beat Man City 3-2 at the Etihad when they finished that season on like 96, 97 points, something like that. And then when he was sacked, we were sat fourth. And the reason he was sacked was because also European champions, though, mate. But okay. But the reason he was sacked was because he was calling out going for top four. What he said in that press conference was, I'm not used to this. I'm used to competing for titles, not top four, and that being the be all or end all. So I think someone like that, Simeone, Conte, a brutal win now, not nice guy. I don't think you guys need a nice guy. You need a brutal, horrible winner who's gritty and dirty and gets you over the line.
No, absolute spot on, my friend. Absolute spot on. I forgot to ask you about the Champions League. What is it with you guys? Like, what do you think? Is it a completely different competition for us? Like, I've noticed as an Arsenal fan when we play Champions League, you I mean you saw us. We finished top of the league phase, right? Won every single game. You
Dominated it.
know, absolutely dominated, right? But the whole style of play, the whole system, sort of different teams and how they play their different systems, benefit was a real benefit for us compared to Premier League. You know, a lot of teams against us they play low block, and we really struggle against the low blocks. Champions League, it seemed a lot more open for us, and you know we just blitz teams effectively, and they really suit our style of play. And you saw that last season, apart from obviously PSG, like we beat Real Madrid flipping over the two legs. You know, PSV we won 7-1 against them. But for you guys, you know, you got top 8 after, and that was under
Top
Frank
four.
as well. Oh, sorry, yeah, even better, like literally
Top
top
four,
4
yeah.
after where you are in the Premier League. Like, are you seeing similar to what we were seeing? Is it just because it's a completely different sort of competition?
I think you're spot on. I feel like a lot of teams from abroad just can't deal with the physicality and pace of the Premier League. The Premier League may have become more boring to watch over the last few years. I still think it's arguably the best league in the world, but it may have become more boring with the top teams playing. And I'm not just on about you guys. City aren't as good. Liverpool's football isn't great. But foreign teams just can't deal with those long throws. They can't deal with crowding the keeper from set pieces. They can't deal with the grittiness. And a lot of foreign teams, for example, Spanish teams want to play tippy-tappy football. Italian teams are always notorious being the strong in the tackle. But the Premier League's a lot more physical than Italian teams. And because of how physical the Premier League is now, referees let more go than they were a few years ago. So I feel like because of that, Italian teams are struggling as well when they come up against Premier League teams. And yeah, you're not just seeing it with us and you guys, Newcastle as well, better in the Champions League than they are in the Prem. Liverpool. I feel like it's just, like you say as well, a lot of teams from abroad open up a lot more than teams in the Premier League. And teams in the Premier League will just counter-attack them with pace, use physicality, and get easy wins week in, week out. So I don't think us winning loads in the Champions League is us being great. I think it's just the Premier League being great and the style of the Premier League being so hard for other teams to deal with.
Because as you said, I mean, a lot of English clubs actually did really well, didn't they? I think everyone who qualified, City, us, you, Chelsea, I think got top.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chelsea. Obviously, we saw what happened with Newcastle. They beat Carabag 6-1 the other day. So I think every single English team actually had a really, really good sort of run in the Champions League so far. So yeah, I also wanted to ask, forgot to earlier about just overall about your squad. Yeah, like look, obviously it's been a daunting season in Premier League, but what players has stood out for you who can sort of hold their head up higher this season, if there is any?
Good question, Josh. Seriously, it's not an easy one. Van der Ven would probably be top of the list. It's not a shock that he's this good. In my opinion, he's one of the most underrated centre backs in the world. And if he played for a better club, then he'd be given the credit he deserves. No other centre back in the world can pick up the ball on the edge of their own box, drive to the edge of the opposition's box, and smash it in like he did in the Champions League. He's consistently good. His recovery runs are just absolutely incredible. So Van der Ven's really impressed me. It's probably it. Unless I'm
Wow.
really forgetting someone, which I might be to be Paulinho. Paulinho's good. Paulinho, meat and potatoes, chicken tikka masala, CDM. He won't do any fancy stuff, but he'll get stuck in, right? He wins more tackles than any other DM in the Premier League, and he's good at intercepting passes and reading the game. So Paulinho's been all right. Gallagher's been all right since joining, but just a lot of players where it's like Solanke. Yeah, Solanke's all right. Spence, he's all right. Porro, all right. Udoji, all right. And then you look at we're in a relegation battle, and despite the injuries, you realise why. Because we've got a lot of average players when you actually go through the team. Xavi Simons has struggled, but the last month he's picked up. Because I think what he was trying to do at first was play like he did in the Bundesliga, and he just really struggled. Whereas the last month, he's used his agility a little bit more, a little bit like Verts, and I feel like he's been better. So if Simmons can keep this up, he's there. But I feel like we really have missed a lot of our injured players. I think the one that we've missed more than anyone else is Kulusevski for his physicality, for his ball carrying. I think if the number 8 or number 10, that guy's a quality player. Maddison, you kind of miss, but I think Maddison's overrated by a lot of our fans. Romero, I mean, if a lot of our fans call him world class, the guy's daft as a brush. He'll put in stupid tackles constantly. So, yeah, we really haven't got that many quality players. So Van der Ven, to answer your question, sorry, it was just such a long answer, mate. I get so carried away. It's because I have to do I'm constantly doing 20, 30-minute videos where I'm just talking to the camera, and in conversation with people, I forget that I'm in conversation. So I just go off on one. I've done it with family members and mates where they'll go, "Oh, what do you think about Spurs this season?" And I'll just go off on one for 5 minutes, and they'll be like, "Mate, you're not recording a YouTube video. What are you doing?" I was like, "Yeah, good point." But yeah, Van der Ven.
But it's bad, like how you struggling to pick out. Like for me, I could say like flipping Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, Ray. I mean, I know Ray made them say, but Raya, flipping Rice. You know, like I pick out so many players. Zubimendi, who's really stood out. But for you, you're like flipping Van der Ven, you're struggling. Like that's how bad it seems to get for you boys. So yeah, obviously you've gone with 2-1 Tottenham. I've gone with 2-1 Arsenal. So that's the predictions there.
The European champions will prevail. That's what's going to happen on Sunday.
The European champions, yeah. All right, mate. All right.
I've only got a few more months of it, then I won't be able to say it for another 17, maybe 40 years or something. So I'm going to enjoy it whilst it lasts.
Might as well enjoy it while it lasts. But yeah, thank you all so much, guys, for tuning in. Thanks for all the comments, all the donations earlier as well. Thank you to the amazing people for that. Rory, before you do go, you want to shout out what content? I'll put your channel in the title anyway. But you want to shout out what content you got coming up?
Yeah, so North London Derby content. I would say if you could come on over and drop us a subscribe, I'd appreciate it. But then I'd get loads of unsubscribes on Sunday if we go on to beat you lot in the North London Derby. So yeah, if you could just check out any of the content that I'm doing heading into the North London Derby, I try and be as unbiased as possible. Sometimes I struggle to be, but I do my best. But cheers for having me on, Josh. Great channel, great audience. You're a top bloke, and yeah, always enjoy coming on. But as I say, I won't be able to do these much longer if we keep losing these North London derbies, because constantly you'll be like, who do you think's going to win? Well, we know who's going to win at this point. So we need a North London derby win. Sunday is going to be the day, hopefully.
Wait, just before we go as well, you know how we do these combined 11s? I honestly thought this year, leave it. Because honestly, for you,
you'd just be reading off the Arsenal team sheet on Sunday, wouldn't you? The only player that I would argue until the day I die is Van der Ven, and for me, I'd put him in over Saliba because I rate Gabriel over Saliba. I think if you had Van der Ven, you'd be a few more points clear at the top because he would have scored a few goals and made some blocks and stuff.
Van der Ven, can he not play left back?
Yeah, he could play left back. Yeah,
if you wanted to do it, you could put him left back.
Actually, I'd say Solanke over Gyökeres.
What are we doing here? No.
That'd be my shout. And let me tell you why, right? Solanke is last season at Bournemouth, 20 goals. Last season, 15 goals. Also showed that he had a winning mentality, winning that European trophy. He's come back from an injury. I think he scored 5 goals in 8 games or something. Whereas Victor Gyökeres, what's that tank been doing this season, man? The guy can't hold up the ball to save his life. His finishing's been crap. I know he's done a bit better over the last month, but yeah. Yok, he ain't getting in over Solanke, in my opinion. So Solanke, he's kind of my only hope aside from Van der Ven. The rest, if we're talking about injured players, Kulusevski's in with the shout, but non-injured players, probably 1, Van der Ven, maybe 2 for me. The rest, it's just Mikel Arteta reading out his team sheet for Sunday.
There we go. Robbie, it's been an absolute pleasure as always, my friends. And obviously, I wish you no luck for Sunday.
I haven't been able to hear you for a lot of this stream, man. My headphones keep playing up. I keep having to check if I can hear you. But no, it's been good fun. Cheers for having me on.
Yeah, anytime, my friend. Big up the chat as well. We're out of here, guys. Have a great rest of your evenings, whatever you get up to. And as always, it always will be, always has done.